Hello, Ironbound Gym. It's time for Tai Chi Chuan and Qigong. With me, I'm Stan Rockwell. Tai Chi is a philosophy. It translates as Supreme Ultimate. Chin translates as boxing or fist. So it's an internal martial art based on a philosophical system of Taoism. Tai Chi is the force that brings yin and yang into being from Wuji, which is nothingness. And Qigong just translates basically as working with life force or energy, and it's something that's very hard to define. I've been studying on that this week. And one of the exercises suggested by Peter Alston is the person I'm studying right now, and he wants you to be very in touch with the feelings you get from your body. So if you just lift your finger, you try to take note of how you do that. In traditional Tai Chi Chuan and Qigong, mind leads energy, energy leads your body. So it's an ongoing process, but it's one that we're typically not aware of and not really fully aware of the feelings we're getting from our body. I had one teacher named Yang Jing Ming who said he could feel the individual organs in his body. And Ralston sort of implies that too, and may eventually say that. I haven't got that far yet. But he has exercises of just paying attention to individual parts of your body. So if you're looking to increase your awareness of yourself and what's going on internally, you could just do a breathing exercise and just focus on the feelings you're getting from your toes, your foot, work your way up, work your way down. It's a pretty interesting thing to do, actually. And it's a way of getting yourself grounded and focused on where you are right now. So first off, here we do want to get ourselves grounded. So you have your feet about shoulder width apart. As parallel as you can get them. And you just start to sink into them. You remember, if there's anything that causes you issues, you back off till you can smile. 70% rule for the movements, the postures, the breathing. You ease into this. It's one of the principles in Taoism. If you've ever read the Tao Te Ching of the Lao Tzu, it's softness overcomes hardness, and that's the underlying principle in all of this. What you're focusing on is trying to get yourself evenly balanced left and right, front and back. So that if you had a pendulum hanging from that bow waist spot, the center of the top of your head, it'd go right straight down through the middle of your body and hit right in the middle of that foundation, which is that rectangle around the outsides of your feet and everything inside of it. It's going to be a little bit of a bend in your knees. If your feet flatten out too much as you sink down, you just raise your arches up till your knees are pointed in the same direction as your toes. And everything we do, knees and toes, will be pointed in the same direction. Even if we're standing in a bow stance like this with the front foot at 90 degrees, the back foot at 45 and some space in between. Knee in the front's going to be behind the toes, same thing in the back, and they're going to be pointed in the same direction. So you want to take care of your knees. Just relax into it. Bow waist spot, crown of the head. The line pulls you straight up, attaching you to the heavens. As it does, it lifts you upwards, stretches your spine, makes you taller, stacks your vertebrae on top of each other. Tops of your hips become parallel to the floor. Your tailbone drops down a little bit. Your stomach flattens out a little bit as your hips move back just a bit. Tops of your shoulders are parallel to the floor and relax down the center line. Imaginary line across your eyes and ears is parallel to the floor, so the line across your eyes and ears, across the tops of your shoulders, across your hips, are all parallel to the ground, so you're not leaning in any direction. As that line pulls you upwards, it lifts the back of your head, tucks your chin in a little bit, move your head back so it's nice and balanced over your shoulders. One of the major issues of being out of harmony with gravity is having your head tilted forward or to the side, so it's outside that foundation. Again, you want that line dropping down from the byway through the perineum to be right in the middle of your foundation. And even when you're in a stance like this, it's still over that foundation because that same line's going to be around. It's just going to be shaped differently. So, sink down into it. And just focus on your breathing. Inhale through your nose down to your diaphragm. Again, 70% rule. You don't have to try to inhale the whole room. Just however deep feels comfortable for you. As you breathe in, you feel an expansion about hip level all the way around. There's breathing exercises you can do of breathing to the front or breathing to the sides, breathing to the back. Again, building up those muscles in your diaphragm to help you so that your normal breathing, when you're not thinking about it, is from down here. Because typically as we get older, it moves more upwards, which is a stress response breath. We want a relaxation response breath. Touch the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth behind your front teeth. On the exhale, you can breathe out through your nose. If you want to breathe out through your mouth, you just release the tongue, and if you want, you sigh with that exhale. With that sound, you let whatever tension is inside, whatever tightness is inside, just flow out and away from you and dissipate. You can use that as a breathing exercise too. Just get your posture, balance, and breathing. You can do it standing up or sitting down, or laying down for that matter. Make the exhale last just a bit longer than the inhale. So if you're counting, you can do a count of 5 on the inhale, a count of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on the exhale, whatever you feel most comfortable with. As you practice, the breaths get longer. Just continue with your breathing. If you feel any tightness, any tension, across the top of your head, your forehead, around your eyes, your ears, your jaw, around your mouth. Just breathe into it, let it soften. If you feel any tension in your neck, your shoulders, down your arms and your wrists and hands and fingers, just breathe into it, let it soften. Chest, your stomach, your back. Any tightness, just breathe into it. Let that tightness melt away. And your hips, down your legs, into your ankles, your feet, your toes. If there's any tightness anywhere, just breathe into it and let it soften. One standing meditation you can do with breathing is just having your hands clasped in front of your lower dantian. I had a teacher one time in yoga who said that different sides of the chakra, left and right, were male, female, and they were reversed in males and females. I don't remember exactly how that was. I'm sure one of the yoga teachers here could tell me. But I know in Chinese medicine and Taoist philosophy, a similar thing is true. So for a guy, left hand comes over the lower dantian, right hand comes over the top, lining up those Laogang points. But for a woman, right hand comes over, left hand comes over. And in talking with people in class, you can actually experiment with it both ways. This just feels naturally comfortable for me. But for some folks, the reverse felt more natural than what the Taoists would say. And again, you adapt it to yourself. Remember, softness overcomes hardness, flexibility overcomes rigidity. And different days, some folks, it felt different on different days. So again, you play with this, see what feels best for you at this moment. You're not regimented into anything. You are just trying to follow the principles of movement and breathing. Remember, it's like you're playing jazz. You're not gonna, or even if you're playing like classical music, you want to play it with your heart and not like just you're doing mechanics. So just breathe. Okay, we're going to do kind of our usual warm-up. Let your arms float up with your palms facing about shoulder high. You turn your hands as you press in. You drop your elbows. You push your head back a little bit to feel some movement in your neck. You turn your hands and you press out. Remember that principle of stone, the joints expand outwards and your arms get longer. They come back down as you tuck your chin a bit again to feel some movement in your neck. It's an inhale and an exhale. And an inhale and an exhale. We'll do one more. Come back to the center. Let your arms come up again with your palms facing. One hand drops down, palm faces towards the floor, other arm folds over, palm faces towards your forehead. Remember there's Lagon point, an acupressure point where your fingertips touch your palm. Upper dantian, same thing as third eye. Just relax both your shoulders. Hand on top, we're going to just move our head and our arm in that direction, 70% of your range of motion for side-to-side motion in your neck. You come back to the center. Hands straight places. You exhale off to the side. Inhale to the center. Do two more on each side. Let your hands come back down by your sides. Remember, you keep space on your arms like you have tennis balls under there, also in the groin, so you can let energy, blood, lymph, nerve signals move freely. Turn your head to one side. Drop your chin, let it roll across the bottom. Don't press it down. Come back to the center and move straight across. It's an exhale and an inhale. And then just reverse. For shoulders, it's shoulder rolls. Remember, if you have issues with your rotator cuffs, you just rotate your arms so your palms are facing behind you and make the circles with your elbows and move your shoulders a little bit. And we'll just begin. Just remember to breathe. And just reverse. Arms come up as you inhale. Exhale as they come down. Just relax. Arms come up. And your hands go up so the fingers are pointed upwards. If you can, you bring your forearms and your palms together. If that causes you problems, just let your elbows relax outwards. But we're going to open the upper chest as you inhale, open the upper back as you exhale. As your hands come back in, just pause when they're even with your shoulders again, and you just reach out and let your arms extend outwards. Don't lock your elbows. Come back, and again, don't compress your elbows. Keep softness there. It's an exhale and an inhale. Your fingers are pointed straight up. Just pause there. Let your hands tilt towards you and away from you. And then towards and away from each other. Circles one way. Circles the other way. Just kind of shake your hands out a little bit. Bring them together, holding hands and turning them around, getting your wrists loosen up a little more, and the other way. And palms facing like you're holding a ball. If you have like a soccer ball or a volleyball, you can use that. Do an open and close and come back. Have your hands so your fingertips are pointed. They're about waist high as you inhale. Fingertips expand, fingers expand. All the bones in your hands and wrists expand outwards as you exhale. They just relax back. So it's an inhale and an exhale. Flex your hands. Say that one that we do in rooting pine where you make fists, your arms are out. As you inhale, arms get longer, then they relax back. So breathe in and out. Fingertips are touching those Laogang points. Fists come in by your hips. Going to punch outwards. As you do, you rotate the arm, then you open the hand. Let all the joints expand outwards. Curl the fingers back in and pull back. It's an exhale and an inhale. Flex your fingers. A little bit of stretch for the back. You hold the ball. Lower hand rotates out, presses up, upper hand presses down. Inhale in, exhale out. Hands come back to the center. You're going to rotate just from the hips up. So if your hands are here, they're staying still. So you just want to get movement in your back. So I've got this hand on top. I'm going to rotate till I get to the hip on that side. And then just like we're doing a moment ago, keeping the palms facing, you want to rotate around. Hands around, and then come back to the other side. Just synchronize your breathing so you're inhaling in one direction and exhaling in the other. Relax back to the center. Hands go to one side. Shift all your weight into that foot. Weightless foot goes out, touches a little bit. Come back to the center. It's an exhale and inhale. Back to the center. Shift all your weight into one foot. Arms go back to counterbalance. Foot goes forward to get some stretch in your hip. Heel touches. If you need to rebalance, just put your foot down in the middle, your forefoot. Forefoot behind. Body stays nice and perpendicular over that weighted foot. In one of the training classes I was in years ago, they said to be sure to tell people to put their forefoot down and not their toes. Reason being, I guess, especially in rehab facilities and in retirement homes, sometimes people because of health issues, have fragile toes. So you want to take it easy on them, and you want to put your foot down lightly anyway. Even in this, it's a light touch. When your foot comes down, it's like you're on rice paper, not making a sound. So if you put your foot out and you hear your heel come down, it's coming down too hard. My teacher's teacher, whenever somebody's heel would come down and make a sound, he'd yell out, bang, and go, who taught you that? Okay, for the knees. Fists at your hips, toes towards the corner, shift your weight over, reach out, forefoot touches, you punch with the opposite hand, you come back. It's an exhale and an inhale. Remember with this one, you don't have to put your foot down. You can practice kicks if you want. And that same teacher always said, you kick low, like hips and down. All those really high kicks are made for the movies. I trust him. He grew up near Shaolin and started studying martial arts when he was like 5 years old, and he's probably got mid-60s now. Step up into a bow stance, shift your weight, punch. This is also for the knees, but it's a really nice full body stretch for me because you do that principle of song. You can feel things making cracking noises all over. Back to the center for your ankles. It's heel and toe. And then same thing other side. And then pick a spot on the floor where outside and inside the foot touches close to the same spot as you can, because you want to isolate the ankle. You don't want to be moving at the hip. And then center it again, shift your weight into one foot, and being very gentle with your hip, knee, and ankle. Make circles one way. And the other way. Same thing other side. And the other way. Just kind of shake everything out a little bit. Do a little bit of balance work. All this is balance work, really. I mean, when you're doing the heel and toe, you can keep your foot up and do it like that. And the side to side, you can do like that. You don't have to put your foot down. But for this, it's pouring, shifting your weight from one side to the other, visualizing that warm, salty water pouring from one side to the other, cleaning all the cells. Shifting your weight from one side to the other, but keeping that center going from the middle of one foot to the middle of the other foot, but not going outside of that. So again, you're staying over your foundation. And then we'll start to swing. Hand in the back does hit the buttock just inside the hip, but not hard. You do it with your eyes closed or open, either way. But if this makes you a little dizzy, you keep your eyes open and look straight ahead at something that's not moving. But either way, you can use this also as a visualization of Picturing yourself somewhere where you feel very calm, safe, serene, or with someone who helps you feel that way. It might be a person, it might be your dog or your cat or your horse or something else altogether. And then it's drumming. You're tapping first on the acupressure points just inside the shoulder. And then at the base of the rib cage. Just inside the hip in the inguinal crease. Tai Chi and Qigong, they would call that your Qua. And then lower dantian, a couple finger widths, 2 or 3 finger widths below your belly button. Heard it taught both ways. And then back to the swing. And then just come back to stillness. Another one can help loosen up your lower back. It's holding like a very big balance ball. Upper hand's going to keep your head sort of still. Lower hand, direction of the fingers is going to take your hip out a little bit. Hands rotate around, keeping the palms facing, and go to the other side. Back to the center. Just kind of rub your hands a little bit, get them kind of warm, and then put them back over your kidneys. In Chinese medicine, kidneys are where your prenatal qi is stored. Doesn't matter if you believe that or not. It just feels good. But that's the energy, the life force you inherit from your parents. And they see that as being finite. So a lot of the exercises they do is to try to maintain that and make it healthy. You can also massage. For me, it's a nice lower back massage too. Had a few back issues and injuries over the years in knee and hip and ankle. Okay. Get yourself centered again and just start to shift from one side to the other. When you get all your weight into one foot, just relax down into it, sink down into it. Feel the heel of the empty foot naturally come up. If you can, you just let the toe rise up on that side. If you need to or you want to, you can point your index fingers down towards the floor to help with grounding. Just continue to breathe and stay relaxed. Come back to the center, let that foot come. Empty foot now becomes a substantial foot. And the other foot just floats up. Again, just notice how that feels in your body, how the bottom of your foot, who's holding all your weight, feels as it's making adjustments to keep you upright. And how the rest of your body stays relaxed and centered over that weighted foot to help with your balance. Shift your weight back. Knee floats up just like it's got a helium balloon attached to it. These are pretty good, I think, mindfulness exercises, focusing exercises. I know my favorite poses in yoga are always the balance poses. Your mind wanders in those, you fall over. And this time it's your heel that floats up. And the other side. And just let your leg come up, drop your hand on your thigh. Same thing other side. And down. If you've got some room, we'll do some walking. If you don't, you can just walk in place. But remember, your feet go straight ahead with where they start, about shoulder width apart, so it's like you're walking on railroad tracks. Shift your weight over into one foot, let that other foot release. Go straight up, and it just eases its way down. It's not going to make a sound. Just like you're on rice paper. You're being very stealthy. It's an inhale as your foot comes up. Exhale when it comes down. If you're working on balance, do it very slowly, and you feel your weight shift from one foot to the other, just like if you had a pendulum hanging down, it would be going in a zigzag motion up those tracks. The slower you do it, the more you work on your balance and your focus. Gotta go back. If you don't want to walk backwards, just turn around and go straight back where you started. No worries. Learn mindful walking from a Buddhist monk, and I don't remember him ever walking backwards. He always turned around and went straight back where he started. The particular Sangha he belonged to didn't allow martial arts either, so he couldn't do Tai Chi anymore. He had been practicing, I think, Bagua in his younger days, but wasn't doing that anymore either, so I was doing a lot of this mindful walking and meditation. I'm going to do the Tai Chi walking. Shift your weight over, adjust your right foot 45 degrees, or either foot, doesn't matter. But the other foot comes over in a T-step, steps up, shift your weight up. Your body turns to the front, knee in front, knee in back, line up with your toes, and knees are behind your toes. In this particular, it's called the twist step because the way we're doing this, your body twists at the end of the step. So if you're doing brush knee push, it's also called brush knee twist step because of that move right there. If you're doing part the wild horse's mane, you keep your body pointed towards the corner though. But you get that nice little twist when you move in. Shift your weight back. Front foot comes back, steps out a little bit, comes down to 45 degrees. Front foot adjusts to 90 degrees. Bring your feet back parallel. Walking side to side. You can do a little bit of a turn with this too. Shift your weight into one foot. As you step out about the width of your foot, as you shift your weight, your body turns towards the other corner. And think of this as pouring exercise, except you're actually moving your feet. And then we'll just go back. Put some hands with this. We'll do yang with maybe a little bit of some mixed in with it. Start with your arms coming up and down. Shift your weight. One foot goes to 45 degrees. The hand on that side comes around on top holding a ball. Hand goes out like you're going to grab something. Shift your weight over. T-step. Step up like the railroad tracks. Part the wild horse's mane. The shorter you make the steps, the easier it is. So you don't have to step very far. The slower you do it, the more it works on your balance. Lower hand's going to bring that foot up. So you're holding the ball again. Shift your weight back so the heel comes down on the back foot, heel on the front foot comes up. Hands cross. No weight in that front foot. Toes touching down. Let me back up a little bit so you can still see the feet. And this is when we go into brush knee push or brush knee twist step. Hand comes past your head, settle your wrist so your hand comes flat and then it goes palm out. This hand presses that foot down, then it pops up, takes that foot up, goes palm up, takes that foot out to 45 degrees. Up and push. Little half step, hands come up. Press off to the side. Heel of the foot in front comes up. Hands come one underneath the other. Toe in the front goes up. Fingertips go up. Playing the lute or the peepaw. Hand on top reaches forward. Hand in the back reaches back at either 4 o'clock or 8 o'clock, depending on which side you have. Look to the front. Turn that palm up. Fold this hand over. And we walk back like we were doing before. Pull in with the front. Push out with the bottom like you're pulling something in to strike. We're going to grasp the bird's tail. The first one is ward off, so it's almost like part the wild horse's mane, which your arm is out here like this, but for ward off, your arm's back here. You reach up, grasp the bird's tail, and you roll back, shift into a reverse bow stance. Then you press on your wrist for press. Push. Come back. Get your feet parallel again. We'll do open and close from Sun style. Go back to Yang style. And we'll do grasp the bird's tail on the other side. Ward off. Roll back. Press. And push. Back to the center. We'll do open, close, and then we'll do wave hands like clouds, Yang style. So it's a step. Palms are going to be facing towards you when they come past your body. Steps again are about the width of your foot. Upper hand goes palm out, drops down like it's going to hit a drum head. Shift your weight back to the other foot. Wave hands like clouds is one you can do just as a standing meditation too without moving. Do open and close. Wave hands back to where we started. Open, close. Either corner, it doesn't matter, but one hand comes down like you're going to rest it on a tabletop, other arm and leg are connected. Hand brings up the foot. For Golden Rooster stands on one leg. We'll do it to the other corner. And we'll do a kick with a heel to the corner. And into the other corner. Whichever leg you're kicking with, that arm goes underneath. Knee comes up, toes pointed down. Then you kick with the heel and down. Open, close. Step back with one foot, make a hook hand, press down. Press. Press. Haven't done it like this before. What you're working on is your hip flexors. So the movement is snake creeps down or snake creeps through the grass. It's a pressing down. Hand goes out when it gets at your groin, and then it takes that foot around. Back foot goes at 45 degrees, and it's also sometimes called a low single whip. Single whip in Young style looks like this, and you're just doing it down. But if you're working on strengthening your hips, it's a pretty good one. And you can do it without the hands. It's step, step. It's mostly adjusting your feet and going from one side to the other. Again, keeping your knee behind your toe. And if I were more flexible, my butt would be touching the ground. I've done this with some Chinese kids who are still very flexible, and because of the differences in how bathrooms are built and how folks sit at tables, people sit on the floor a lot more. They keep that flexibility. And I know there was some debate as to, I know in Japan, when they're getting ready for the Olympics this summer, or I guess at this point next summer, hopefully, they were westernizing all the bathrooms, and they're wondering if the flexibility in the hips were going to change in Japanese people because of that. So little changes can make big effects later on. Think of it like a snowball rolling down a hill, getting bigger as it goes. So if you make one small change in your life, who knows what kind of big change it may make later. So have your hands at your hips, they come up. You make fists as you pull back and you look to one side, you come back to the middle. It's an inhale and an exhale. Talking about my teacher and my teacher's teacher earlier, Bill and Jin Hao. This is a series of Qigong movements they used to use. Come down. You keep your knees nice and soft. You push to one side. You come back. Push to the other side. It's an exhale and an inhale. Back to the center. You look up and down. It's actually called Fair Maiden Looks. Inhale up and exhale down. One hand goes over top of the other, arms come up, the other hand's on top, you turn to that side, let your arms drop down, hand on that side goes underneath, come back to the center when your hands come up and you rise up, the other hand's on top, so then you go to the other side. It's an inhale and an exhale. Come in, you interlace your fingers, press up, come up on your toes if you can, and then work to one side and the other side. Down. It's an inhale, exhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. We'll do one more. Then when your hands come down, you're going to be holding the ball again. Hand underneath as your hands rise up. It's going to rotate so it's palm down. When it gets about even with your forehead, you open and you look to the side of the hand that's on top and the hand's reversed. It's an inhale And exhale, you're opening the blossom. Hands come back down like you're holding the ball. You're going to shift your weight, turn a little bit on that center axis. Hands reach up, then they pull down. Shift your weight, turn that center axis to the other side. Inhale. Exhale. Back to the center. Hands come up. And then they drop back down in front for open and close. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Hands are back down about waist high. As your hands rise up, you turn the hands so the fingers point towards the front. And they keep turning around until they're facing each other again. And sweep down. This is lifting the platter. It's an inhale and an exhale. And then we balance it. Inhale up and exhale down. Back to center. Thanks for joining me. Stay safe, healthy, and well. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.